If you follow most advice about arc raiders, you're not playing safer, you're just making the game easier for everybody else. And the worst part is, it sounds smart. So let's talk about arc raiders advice that is completely wrong and why people keep repeating it. Before I get into it, I just want to say that I'm a Twitch streamer and I stream almost every single day on Twitch, so I'll put it down in my link below. I also do Instagram and all that kind of stuff, so if you guys are interested in this, or maybe you want to come and ask me some questions, you're definitely more than welcome to come down and ask away. I'll also be playing then. Avoid fights early and just take all the loot you can grab. This is probably the most common one, and it's something that a lot of new players do just completely instinctively, and so it seems completely right. However, it's not really the right thing that you should be doing. In arc raiders, early fights decide everything. The reason it's wrong is because, one, when you loot and you don't get kills, you lose early map control, which equals tempo. You also lose early pressure, which equals information. Early fights are messy and uncoordinated and exploitable. You need to be fast. You don't need to have insane mechanics to win the early fights. You can genuinely win off of really nice positioning and really nice timing and engagement. If you avoid early fights, you're not really being stealthy. You're just letting better players loot uncontested and pick perfect fights later on when they feel more comfortable. You don't avoid danger, you delay it. When you don't take early fights, the only thing you're really doing is giving your enemy an advantage, and you're delaying the fact that you're going to have to fight them when a lot of the time they're going to be a lot more comfortable fighting you later on. 2, if you're outnumbered, always disengage. People love saying this because it sounds disciplined, but outnumbered teams in arc raiders have a problem. They're loud, they're slow, and they're very predictable and often not very coordinated at all. The reason it's wrong is because more players often equals far more noise, meaning you know most of the time exactly where they are. More players also means more hesitation. People are going to have to communicate before they're done. They don't just do things on instinct. A lot of the time, if they do, it can really mess them up. And 3, worse angles. A lot of the time when there's more players, it's more people to shoot at. It means that they don't have as good angles. A lot of the time it means that it's harder for them and easier for you to be able to exploit them, positioning in a way that they can't see you, but you can always see at least one of them. When you disengage automatically, you give up initiative, and initiative wins fights far more than running away. Being outnumbered doesn't mean you're losing, it means you choose where the fight happens. Meta weapons matter more than positioning. Now, this obviously isn't true, and meta weapons obviously don't matter more than positioning, but people tend to blame their deaths on meta weapons a lot more. Just because someone has a 4 Bobcat does not mean that you lost because they had a 4 Bobcat. People always say positioning decides fights before bullets are fired. Angles are far better than just being able to land your shots. Timing is far better than any sort of attachment that you can equip to your weapon, and being able to surprise the enemy is far better than being able to have better recoil control. A bad position with a good gun loses to a good position with a bad gun almost every single time. If you're thinking the gun is the reason you died, you're already coping. Number 4, if you hear footsteps, you freeze. This advice is everywhere. If you hear footsteps, stop and don't move. This advice is wrong because freezing gives up momentum. You become predictable. You let them decide the fight. You want to be in control of your space, and you want to keep control of the tempo in all of the fights that you play in arc raiders, making sure that you decide when to surprise the enemy. The first shot will often decide who wins the fight. Sound in arc raiders is not danger, but it's more of an information thing. You don't want to think of arc raiders as a shooter game. Sound isn't to be scared of, but more to just give you information of what you need to be wary of. Players who act first usually control the fight entirely. Solo play is a disadvantage. This is said so confidently, and it's not true at all. And here's why it's wrong. When you're playing solo, there is a lot less noise, meaning that you can focus a lot on where people are or what you're doing. This means you also make faster decisions. You don't have to discuss with teams or try to be coordinated. You can just do it. This helps a lot when you're confident in your play, and you can make decisions without second guessing yourself or going back on them. And you don't really hesitate. This means that when you're getting pushed, you instantly decide whether you're going to run or whether you're going to choose to fight there. When you're deciding whether you're going to fight, you don't spend 10 to 20 seconds talking to your team about what you're going to do. You just do it. Teams tend to talk a lot. Solo players tend to act a lot. You're not weak as solo. You're just a lot more honest about your mistakes, and you tend to see your mistakes a lot more often, as you do get punished for them far more than when you're on a team. Number 6, arc raiders is about survival, not pressure. This is the big misunderstanding. People treat arc raiders like a survival game, but the game rewards pressure, not passive play. Pressure forces mistakes. Pressure controls movement and controls space, and pressure denies resets. The safest players aren't the quiet ones. They're the ones forcing everyone else to react. They're the ones forcing people to try and run away. They're the ones that are forcing people to use their resources to feel less confident to push anybody else. If everyone in the entire map doesn't want to engage and fight you, then of course you're going to be the safest person on the map. Here's the truth. Most arc raiders advice isn't meant to help you win. It's meant to help people feel better about losing their games. If you disagree with any of this, good. Argue with me in the comments below. Please let me know what you think. Just don't keep repeating advice that's getting you killed and making you constantly lose loot. Other than that, that's been everything. Thank you very much.